All right, hi everybody. Sorry I'm not seeing you in school today. So since we are not together, I wanted to show you what we were going to do in school today. What you can see on the screen right now are the keyword outlines for three different source texts about George Washington. Source text number 1 and source text number 2 I gave you last week, and you were supposed to take them home, and for your home assignment you were to read them, choose some interesting or important facts out of the source text, and then make your own keyword outlines. I did that. Mine will look different than yours because I picked what I thought was interesting or important, and that's okay if ours are different. So you can see what I chose for source text 1 and source text 2. Now today in class, I was going to give you source text number 3, which was basically a source text that gave a bunch of trivia and interesting facts about George Washington that you might not know. I have attached that to the snow day assignment on your 6th grade language arts page. If you go to the assignments tab, you will see it. And you can either print that out or read it on the screen. And you're going to need to make a keyword outline for source text number 3. So that's what I did. If you can see mine right in front of you. Now we have 3 different outlines with a bunch of different facts about George Washington. And what today we're going to do is create a fused outline. And fuse, if you know what that word means, if you fuse 2 things together or 3 things together, you are connecting them. You're combining them. So what we want to do is look at our outlines. If you have the papers, once you're done with the 3rd outline, lay them out side by side in front of you and look at them. And what you want to do is look for any facts that overlap, because apparently they're important. You're going to look for anything that is interesting that you want to put in your writing about George Washington. Any facts that might go together are important to find. And so we're just going to make one outline out of these 3. Now we're going to have to leave a few things out. So think about what you really want to include in your writing about him. And we want to also make our outlines so that our facts are in order. We want to keep our like ideas together. So I'm going to, I'm on a PowerPoint right now. I'm going to insert a text box. At least I think that's what I'm doing. And we're going to make our fused outline. So the first part of the fused outline is going to be your topic sentence. So all of our topic sentences are about George Washington. This one, the first one says he's the first U.S. president. This one says he's the father of our country. The last one says he's a fascinating man. You guys know what POTUS, P-O-T-U-S, stands for? It's President of the United States, number 1. So I'm going to say that my keywords will be George Washington, fascinating. I'm going to try to do an alliteration. Fascinating first president, and also I'm going to say father. I can't say fascinating first father because he's not the first father, but he was the first president and father of the U.S. Now I'm only using 4 keywords, right? George Washington counts as 1, fascinating, and father, I'm doing well. All right, so now I need to look at my 3 outlines and decide what I want to put first. Do I want to talk about being born in Virginia? Do I want to talk about that he was a good student? Do I want to talk about that he has no middle name? Well, if we're going to go in order, I think it's important to talk about when he's born. So I'm going to take some facts from this one. I think I'll take this. Let me see if I can highlight this. Somebody keeps calling me. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Let's turn it back to black again. Sorry, that's my phone buzzing. Someone's texting me over and over again, and I'm not going to stop and talk to them right now. So I don't know where the highlight is on this. So I'm going to just change the color of everything I'm using just so I can tell what I'm doing. So born in Virginia, and I want to say He had no middle name. I think that's interesting. I want to do that. This is another interesting fact that he was born not on February 11th, but on February 22nd. So his, because of the calendar was changed after he was born, and that changed his birthday 11 days. Interestingly, I'm noticing that my years are not correct. I'm going to pause for just a second. Okay, so the calendar changed the year and the date of his birth. So I'm going to think of what keywords can I write down that will combine all that information. So I'm going to say born, Virginia, 2/11, 1732, comma, calendar change. So I've got 4 keywords changed, and then I'm going to put the new date, 2/22/1732. So that's how many keywords. I've used 3, and I'm going to say, hopefully I'll remember this, I'm going to cross out, oops, I'm going to use my little cross out feature, cross out that he had no middle name. All right, so that'll be my first fact. All right, so after I talk about where he was born and when his birthday was and that he had no middle name, I need to think about what I want to talk about next. I'm looking at my three outlines. His dad died when he was 11 years old. Do I want to include that? Or do I want to include that he was a good student in math and spelling? Do I want to include, there's nothing about his childhood in the third outline, so I don't have you guys here to help me, so I am going to, since I'm a teacher, I think I'm going to say he was a good student, so I'm going to choose that. And that he was helpful on the plantation. I'm going to choose that. So let's see, when he was young, let's see, he was a good student. That's 2 keywords. Help, plantation. All right, so I got that. Now I'm going to look at my outlines again. See what else I can put. All right, he was tall, 6'2". Is that important? When he was 16, he moved to Mount Vernon. That's on both of these maps. He became a surveyor at 16. Nothing about that on this. Oh, with it, something about making a map. His first map with his brother's turnip garden. So I think that's important. He was a surveyor. His first job was when he was 16. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to highlight that he moved to Mount Vernon, and then if I have room, I'm going to talk about this little interesting turnip garden fact. Okay, so I'm going to say 16, abbreviate YO for years old. Moved Mount Vernon. I'm going to just I'm going to abbreviate that. Moved to Mount Vernon. Surveyor. Became a surveyor. And let's see, how many keywords do I have? I have 2. I'm going to say first map. It's 1, 2, 3, turnip. I'm going to say turnip garden. How about that? Turnip garden. All right. Now I'm going to go to the next thing. All right. I'm going to pause it and I'm going to add a few more and then I'm going to finish it up. Okay, so I paused the video just so that I could do a little work on this without wasting time. So everything you see in purple here are the facts that I thought would be good from the 3 outlines at the top. So I started with he led the Virginia militia when he was 20 years old. He fought for the British in the French and Indian War, and that came from all the purple that you see. That came from source text number 2 and source text. Well, actually, mostly source text number 2. And then number 5, that fact, after he was in the war, he married Martha Custis, and that came from source text number 1, source text number 2, and then number 6. And in the fused outline general of the colonial army and led them in the United States, or you led the colonies in victory over Great Britain in the American Revolution. That came from source text number 1 and 2. And then you can tell just because I used purple to highlight everything. So I went all the way down. I actually have 10 facts that I decided I wanted to use. You can make this, you don't want to use every single fact, but try to pick the ones that are the most important. And I hope you see that I tried to have some kind of an order of, this is mostly in chronological order from when he was born all the way till when he, after he died. I didn't even talk about how he died or where he died or when he died in this, and that's okay. You pick what you want to put in there. The important thing is that you keep your like ideas together. You don't have them all spread out all over the paragraph. You want them to flow and make sense together. So I need a clincher. So we know the clincher rule is to repeat or reflect keywords from the topic sentence. So if I look back up at my topic sentence, I have George Washington, fascinating, first president, father of the United States. So I want to say something like that for my clincher. Either repeat some of those words or use synonyms. That's what I mean by reflect. So I'm just going to put GW, first POTUS, President of the United States. I think I'll do great leader. And that will be my clincher. Now when I go to write this as write this paragraph out, I can change up some things, but that's basically how you do a fused outline. And for your homework assignment post for what you do tomorrow, I will have the directions, but you can use your own notebook paper to do your fused outline. That way you'll have as much room as you want. You won't be limited by the blanks that I give you. Okay, so what we're going to do also is we're going to do the same process where you find 3 source texts, write 3 outlines, and then fuse them into one final outline for 3 different presidents. You've already done George Washington, and then you will need to pick 2 more. I will give you the first source text for each of those presidents that you pick off of a list that I give you, and then you will have to find a second and third, actually a second source text. I'll try to find you a third source text too, because some of the source texts online about the interesting facts that you might not know about different presidents have some things on there that aren't appropriate. So I will pick those for you. All right. So I hope this is helpful for showing you how to make a fused outline. That's your assignment today for what we would have done in class, and this is what you're going to do on your own. Send me a message if you have any questions. All right. Have a great day. Stay safe. Bye.